You touched on democracy and my field, political science. And I am worried that by entering the world of politics, I become part of the problem you've been writing about. What would you recommend for all who still believe that the political process can be saved? How can we keep the eyes on the ball?
By acting to advance the prospects that the political system can be improved. Saved is a strong word, but can be improved. And you can do things. I mean, there are representatives in Congress who carry out important work with integrity. They can't achieve what I would like, but you have to recognize realities. Take, say, Joe Biden right now. Look at his career. He's not my favorite person. But suppose he wants to, let's say he either wants to or is pressured to carry out some kind of actions that would improve the lives of the population. It's not easy. He's running into a stone wall of total opposition. He's running into a Senate which is controlled by Mitch McConnell, who has made it very clear and explicit that his task when the Republicans are not in power is to make the country ungovernable. He announced that explicitly when Obama was elected. He said, our task is to make sure he cannot accomplish anything. Then, if the country is ungovernable, people suffer, blame it on the Democrats, we'll come back into office, doing exactly the same thing now. Take a look at the American Care Act stimulus bill.
Yeah.
Most Republican senators in Congress pretty much approve of its provisions. They certainly are aware that their constituents do, but they voted 100% against it. 100%.
Yeah.
Every senator, every representative, very much like the old Communist Party. You take orders from above, and there has to be total obedience. And the task now is to make the country ungovernable. Even though we know this is the kind of thing that people need, we got to stop it because they have to ensure that the worst will happen to the public so we can get back into office. Well, it's going to be that way on every single thing. In fact, the reaction of the Republicans when the stimulus bill was passed is interesting and instructive. Attorneys general in many states, led by Ohio, are already filing suits to block a provision of the stimulus bill which says that the stimulus cannot be used by states to modify their tax legislation, which means to reduce taxes on the rich. So they cannot use the stimulus as a technique for reducing taxes on the wealthy. That's a very fair provision, but the Republicans want to block it, and they're carrying out lawsuits to block it. It'll drag out in courts. It'll hold back money for states and localities, which they badly need. But the task is harm the country as much as possible so that we can get back into office. Okay? Happening before our eyes. It's not a secret. It's on the front page of the newspaper.
Wow.
Okay? So suppose you're in Congress. Suppose you're Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, you're Bernie Sanders, whoever you might be, or Joe Biden. You have to face that fact. You can't pretend it doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you try to do that might benefit the public is going to be blocked. And it's not easy to find ways around this. You can't simply say, let's get rid of the filibuster. And Mitch McConnell is a good enough parliamentarian to know that there are innumerable ways in which he can keep the Senate even from meeting, literally. Delay the vote, which turns the lights on, anything, a million different ways. So there are all kind of ways to make the country ungovernable. We just saw it with Ron Johnson, wanted to block the stimulus bill. He inserted a demand that has to be met, that it be read in its entirety on the floor of the Senate. No conceivable point to that other than to make it harder to pass it and to establish the fact that we want the country to be ungovernable. Okay? That's the reality if you go into political office. You can do things, but it's not going to be easy in a society where the masters of mankind have overwhelming power.
Yeah.